Hello, everybody. How are we doing today? Let me know where you're coming from in the chat and how you're doing. And I'm really curious how the weather is where you are from because it is still quite a bit cold up here in New England. We still have some snow on the ground. And I like to hear that, Nancy, that you are coming from a 71 degrees San Francisco and sunny, which is a little, that's nice for San Francisco. So, hi, Yuko. Hi, everybody. So we have Mary behind the badge today. And so could you guys give a shout out to Mary? So thank you so much, Mary, for being here. And Mary's adding some information that if you share the live stream today, you'll be entered to win a $15 gift card. And today our topic is talking about the Craft-A-Flower Magnolia. This is the newest Craft-A-Flower and it is really big and really beautiful. And we're going to kind of play around with what can we do with this thing today. So thank you guys for being here. Hi, Avril. Hi, Rosie. And Rosie, it's got to be colder where you are than me. And Drifa from Iceland. Okay, I give you that. A little bit colder up there. Hi, Sandra. So thank you guys so much for being here today. And let me know how your temperature is. Like I said, hi, Sue from Connecticut. You got to be a little cold with me as well. And Dolores, it's nice to know that Pennsylvania is feeling a little bit better. And yeah, cold, yep, I have to agree. Northeast England, yes, it is. But Sandra, you know what's nice about England is you guys get spring earlier than us. I remember that when I used to travel over there in March, I'd be like, oh, going from really, really super cold to like actual daffodils and other flowers that are up in London. Oh, thank you. Hi, Carmen from Toronto. Hi, Joan. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. So what we're going to talk about is this die set, and this is the newest Craft-A-Flower Magnolia. Oh, thank you, Joan, for sharing. If you share this live stream while we are live, you will be entered to win a $15 gift card, and Mary will let us know at the end of today, at the end of the live stream, who has it. And if you don't have this already, this would be a really, really great purchase to use your $15 gift card from. But this is such a huge flower, and I wanted to talk today about what do you do? First off, what's the best way to do a Craft-A-Flower? Because there's a lot of little pieces, so how do we handle all of that? And secondly, how do you take this really big flower and what do I do with it? So that's what we're going to do. You can share the stream out to your social media. Just let them know. You can grab the link from where you are and then send that out to friends on Facebook, anywhere where you have on your social media, and let us know. And then just you can just let us know that you've shared it. So you'll see some people kind of putting into the chat that they have shared it. So thank you, Sarah, for sharing. And Sandra, daffodils are showing through. Not here. We're kind of hoping for daffodils probably by end of April. I gotta say, we're always hopeful. So it's so nice to have you all here. Hi, Brina. Hi, Diane. Thank you for sharing this. All right, I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera down, and I want to take a little bit of a closer look at this. Oh, thanks, Sue, for sharing this. All right, let me get my video. I'm going to turn this down. All right, so we are on my desk right now. And again, oh, and Nancy, cherry blossoms. Yeah, -6 degrees Fahrenheit. It's a little bit, 6 degrees Celsius. Okay, that makes more sense. It's the temperature isn't so bad here. I have to say I haven't been wearing a winter coat too much, but it is a little bit nice. Nancy, cherry blossoms are beautiful. Daffodils in Duluth, yep, I would agree. Maybe in July. I can't wait. They are definitely harbingers of spring. Magnolias also come out really early for us too. My magnolia tree, which is beautiful, it usually comes out in May, and I have this beautiful white and purple magnolia tree. So I don't know if anybody else has a magnolia over there, but they are definitely my favorites. So this is a sample card. We're not going to make this card today. I'm going to do a couple of other things, but I wanted to show you the size of this Craft-A-Flower. It's really cool. It's really nice and big. So this really will kind of take over a card. And all of this paper is all from the alcohol ink background. So I wanted to show this paper pad. When this thing came out, I thought it was really neat. And it's this really nice, these 6x6 papers. Let me just take these out and show you guys. And what I like about backgrounds like this is I can kind of make a decision. I kind of decide, you know, and I can cut kind of sections out of them, but they are double-sided and they're really, really pretty. So you can kind of see sentiments out of this. Oh, just all the luscious colors. And I got to say, with my alcohol inks, I don't always get this kind of blend. So you can see I cut some pieces out in order to make my magnolia blossom already. I was doing some purples on that one. So, but this is, it's a really nice little paper pack. So what I wanted to show you first is to take a look. So that was the alcohol ink paper pack and steel magnolias. And Avril, 2 weeks for daffodils. All right, Avril, you got to send me some pictures of daffodils coming up where you are, because I love those flowers. So this flower was cut out of the alcohol ink background paper pack, and it's nice. You know, it's got a lot of different colors. It's got a lot of different textures. I'm gonna make my first flower quite not so busy, but I want to talk about other things that you can add in order to do that. So I've actually, because I always run out of time with you guys, I actually took a piece of paper and I've already die cut all of my little pieces here. And what I want to do is I'm going to show you guys, I'm just collecting all these other little remnants just in case if I need them. I'm going to show you guys kind of playing around with this. And then I have some over on the side, I have some different colored paper packs. So I wanted to show you, you know, kind of a couple of different ways that you could work with these magnolias. So there's a layering guide on the back. Oh, good, Avril. There's a layering guide on the back, and that's what I'm going to go by as we go this. So I am curious right now what color magnolia you guys would like to make. Do you want to make a purple one? Do you want to make a pink one? Do you want to make it a little crazy and go blue? Do you want to make yellow, orange? Let me know, and go ahead and text me right now which color you want to make. And we're going to use some blending brushes. So I have the ink blending tool smalls, and I also have my mini blending brush set. So I'm going to use both of these to make these. So pinks, all right, Avril, we got pink. Pinks is coming up. Pink. All right, let's get some pink in. So I'm going to get, I love this for pinks. This is the cherry blossom set. And these are really, really nice. I'm actually going to grab one other thing. Here they are. I'm gonna add a little bit of something to it as well. So we're gonna kind of mess around with it a little bit. All right, so in order to keep these pieces in, I actually put some tape on the back. So I'm gonna keep this over to the side. And what we're gonna do is kind of focus on one of these pieces at a time. So I'm gonna start with the bottom layer. And this has it as kind of the darkest layer. So I'm gonna grab the raspberry. So this is the pink to make the boys wink. That's cute, Avril. I like that. Purple and pink, Stephanie. Yes, I like those two colors. I always like them together. All right, so let's grab my mini ink blending tool. And I'm going to grab this raspberry. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to ink this up and just get some color down. And what's nice about all of these Craft-A-Flowers is you can make it any way you want. So where I'm kind of taking this and I'm going to make it pink just by adding some little bit of color to it. I could also grab, here it is. This is the spring bouquet set. And I'm just going to grab a little bit of that magenta off of this just to get a little bit of variation. All right, so this is the fuchsia. Nope, that's 3. Magenta, here you are. All right, so I'm going to grab a little bit of magenta too. All right, so let me put this in. I always like to kind of mess around and add a little bit of something a little different. And I know these colors are very similar and they work together. So we'll just have one side that's a little bit pinker and one side that is a little bit purpler, if that's a word. You guys agree, right? Purpler is a word. We'll take it, right? Okay, so let me put these back. So the next step within us is this one. So I'm going to pull that one out. And I always have to take a look at all these pieces. All right, so this is our next one. And so I'm going to go ahead and go over to the magenta. Nope, that's not what I want. I want rubellite. Here we go. I'm just going to clean off my guy here. I tend to use the same ink blending brushes. I just clean them off as I go along, mostly because I just don't have a lot of space. To be honest, in my craft room, I'm kind of like to capsule. I like to kind of do with this, just have a little bit of something, and then I use my stuff over and over again. All right, these other little pieces we don't care about, so I'm just going to pop these out real quick. And let me grab my pokey tool. Okay, there we go. All right, so I'm going to grab the same brush. I just took it off, just double checking there's not any color on it. And then I'm going to pull this in. And I can also grab the fuchsia from that as well. And I'm just going to mix these two together on this one piece. And I like this. I like making my own paper. It's really nice. But I like the fact that I can make a decision if I want to use pattern paper and get something a little bit wackier or have a little bit more texture. I can emboss. I can use washi tape. I can stencil. I can really do anything that I want. And that's what I like, is kind of having these ideas. Now, when I look at that, I don't see a lot of differences in color. So I can go back if I want to with that magenta. Actually, I'm going to go back with raspberry, and I can make this even darker, just to make sure that there's more of a color difference between these two. All right, now let's check it out. Now when I put this on, I can see that there is a variation in color. How do you guys think about that? That looks really nice, right? So you can see that over there. Hi, Ann. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing this. If you share this live stream while we're live, you'll be entered to win a $15 gift card to Altenew. And Mary, who is behind the badge, say welcome to Mary. Hi, Mary. She's going to choose that winner afterwards. Hi, Liz. How are you doing? Yeah, this is, I have to say, out of all the things, I really like dies because they really do so much. All right, now what I'm doing right now is I'm just pulling the ink off of my blending brush. So I just have a microfiber cloth and I'm just pulling as much of that ink off of there. And I'm going to take a moment and I'm going to go ahead and adhere these two. So I'm just going to use some glue. And while I still have them, I'm just going to add some glue down. And I'm just going to stick these two on. And I like to do this because as I go along, I can build the layers instead of ending up with all the layers at the end. And then I don't know necessarily where they end, where they go. This one is really easy to line up. So I'm just kind of using this key over here. And I can see, I just kind of like take each of these little sections and I kind of start to say, okay, well, this is this little hooky guy. I'm going to put him here. This goes here. And I'm going to go ahead and get that down. And this is a glue that dries clear, so I'm not worried about it too much. All right, so I'm just going to put that all the way on. So you can see that nice dark color. And we have a little bit of that lighter color coming up. All right, so I'm going to put that to the side. Now I'm going to grab my third section. Now the third section actually comes in it's a little bit thinner. So let me show this to you. Let me pull these little parts out. Pokey tool and pokey tool. Here we go. And then that is our third section. So that is not my third section. How am I missing a section? Hold on one second, guys. All right, I got one. This one. All right, I'm just taking a look here, just double checking I kind of got everything out. Yeah, that's right. That's my third section. All right, here's my third section. And so I'm looking here. And so this is our next color. So this one is Pinkalicious. And so I'm going to grab that same blending tool that I cleaned up. And now I'm going to add Pinkalicious to it. And I'm going to go a little bit lighter with this because I want to make sure that there's enough contrast and difference between my layers. And the layers in this one, at least how they have it in the guide, they get lighter and lighter as you go up. You could change that if you wanted to. So if you wanted to make it where it's lightest on the bottom, you could do that as well. That is really pretty. You know what I'd like to do? I would like to add a little bit of orange to that. Actually, a little bit of yellow. Sorry, Mary. I'm going to grab some of this Sunkissed. This is out of the Warm and Cozy set. So I'm going to grab an orange guy. Actually, I don't have an orange guy. All right, let me just clean us off. And I just want to add a little orange. And the reason why I'm doing this is I just want to get a little bit of variation in there, just to make it look a little bit different, just so it's not pink on pink on pink. And so you can kind of see, but just by adding a little bit of orange, we're getting just a little bit of difference too. Oh, Dean, thank you so much for sharing to Facebook. And if you do share this while we are live, you'll be entered to win a $15 gift card to Altenew. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and add this on, and you can see just with the orange, just gives a little bit something different. Now the next layer, the fourth layer, it's in a couple of pieces. So I'm going to show that to you after I get this one on. And it's definitely where you need the layering guide to make sure that you have it on straight. And that's where the tape here kind of comes in. And I don't care about the tape on the back. You know, it's just masking tape. I could peel it off, but it's really not hurting anybody. And it's on there. It's not a big deal. All right, so this one's going to go on. So I'm going to go ahead and attach this. And again, I'm using that layering guide. It's right next to me, so I'm just lining it up. And so you can see our flower starting to build up here. All right, so that's our flower. Now our next one, like I said, comes in two pieces, and it comes in, it kind of ends up looking like that. So it has this section where you have this big part down here. Just going to carefully pull that out. And then you have this other section up at the top. Looks like a little heart to me. And so this is the top, and this is going to come to be down the bottom. So this is what it's going to end up looking like. And this is, again, another lighter section. So I'm going to grab the pink diamond, and I'm going to grab our ink blending tool. And I can come in fact, I think I'm going to switch over to the mini ink blenders, just because this is really kind of a delicate looking thing. So I'm going to grab my pink one here. And this is pink diamond, so I'm going to go ahead and grab this, and I'm just going to go ahead and ink this up. And I want to go kind of light on this because I want to make sure that those other layers show through. All right, so I'd love to know, do you have a subscription to Craft-A-Flower? Is this a go-to tool that you have in your craft room and you're kind of looking for something floral, or do you tend to go for stamps? Yeah, it's so nice. Thank you so much, Anne, for sharing. Oh, I am going to save the good question about the orange for the center. I'm actually going to go a little bit darker with that. So I'll show you what I can do. And you can even use green, which would be a nice in the center as well. So I'll show that to you in a second. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. I just like to get a little variation, and that was a light orange that I used. And these are my, I like the Warm and Cozy set. It's like a pure orange. It's really nice. All right, so when you put this one on, this part up here that looks like a little heart, this section goes along here. So I know that it's going to connect here, and it's also going to connect on this little swoopy edge. And so this is where I'm going to lay it down. So I got to kind of maneuver into place. And I like using glue for these because with the glue, I can kind of move things until it fits right and it looks right. See, that needs to go there. There we go. All right, so you can see that nice little light section to it. And then let's put this guy on too. All right. And this is going to go on the bottom. And this was always interesting when I first was working with it. All right, so I'm looking right here, and then I have these two pieces up here, and this one's going to swoop around. So this is going to swoop around here and fit. And then I'm going to work it down from that area. And then this is going to line up here, and that's going to line up here. What I also like about the Craft-A-Flowers is if you like, that's such a weird, or that I don't like the way that looks, you can always leave a layer out, and that's totally fine too. But that gives you some light. So there's our dark purple, our medium, purpley pink, and then our medium. I got that base layer that's a light pink with the orange, and then I got a very, very light orange. So I have these two pieces that are still in my paper. I just have to dig them out. Here's one, I think. So there's these little sections over here that because these are all the little pieces, and if you're like, yeah, I'm not one for little pieces, and if you can't find them, then you can let them go. I don't think it really harms your image or your flower that you don't have these little tiny sections. So I'm going to grab that pink diamond and I'm going to ink these two up with my ink blending tool, and then we'll stick those two down. And I'm just tapping the ink on here because I want something a little bit lighter so I can let the base colors show through because I don't want to cover up everything completely. All right, so I'm going to do that. And then let me go ahead and ink these up, and I'm going to get them on. I have to say with Craft-A-Flowers, you definitely have to be organized because your pieces tend to kind of go in a lot of different places. That's why the tape helps a little bit, I think, to keep them together. All right, so this is piece one, and I'm looking for these two pieces right over here on the side. And let me get this one in. All right, here's my second piece. And it is like a jigsaw puzzle. I kind of find these a little relaxing, like working on a jigsaw puzzle, because you got to figure out where these go. All right, so we have one more section to go, and that is this one here, which is going to be our lightest section. But I've ran out of pink. So what I like to do in this case, I can do one of two things. I can bring in a pink from a different set. But what I'm going to do, and let me just grab all these pieces and make sure I have everything. I know, it's like crazy. This little guy, I think, is actually a piece. This is where I get a little bit, I may have lost this other one. So because I have my guide that I cut everything from, I can double check that I have all the pieces. So that's that one, check. That's this one, check. I got this little squiggly guy, and then I got this little one that looks like a leaf. So these are all of my 4 pieces. And so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to pull in a gray, a very, very light gray. And this is Morning Frost. Yes, you're right, Dorothy. This is it's a great idea. If you have low tack tape or you kind of like on your desk and you're not doing a live stream and have it kind of organized over on your desk, it helps a lot because you end up with these pieces. I actually use this guide for me to figure out where the pieces are and where it is that they fit. And so I added some tape on the back to really try to make sure that my pieces stay together and I don't lose anything until I'm like really, really done with it all. All right, so I'm going to grab my same brush. So yeah, I know I use this for pink, but I'm just going to clean that pink off. And I'm going to go in with Morning Frost. And I could even keep these white. I think it would look pretty white, but I really like this gray. So let's check this out and see what this looks like. And I'm using the warm gray collection because the warm gray collection, I think, goes very nicely with the pinks and purples versus having the other one. Although I think I got a little pink in there, but that's fine. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and try to put these on. So when you're looking for these ones and how to attach them, this is when I start to pull in the full image. So this little squiggly guy, he goes on top of this petal. So there's a little section right up here. So let me get him on right here. Oh, he does not need that. It was way too much glue for that, but that's okay. And again, I like to use glue for these because I can wiggle it around. So he goes right up here. Right up at the top of that. Oh boy. This is where you definitely need some needle guys to get him in there. And I'm just going to take my tweezers in a second and just go ahead and lock him in there so he doesn't move until he's good and go. All right, so my next one is this little leafy looking guy. And little leafy guy is going to go right over here. So I'm looking for these sections and I'm going to go right between it. And that is leafy guy. All right, so he's going there. So I'm going to move my tweezers down to leafy guy. And then I have this little squiggly hook guy. So squiggly hook guy is going to go right along in here. And I do name them because it's a little bit easier for me sometimes to find them. All right, so squiggly hook guy goes right in here. And he's got to go up just a little bit. There he goes. Now he's in place. And then the last guy is this guy over here. And he looks like a big comma. And he's going to go right on this leaf. And you can see how he fits right in on that one. All right, so here's our flower. And you can see the nice detail that you get. Yeah, Dorothy. Yeah, Avril, you gotta name them, you know, especially when you're looking at little tiny pieces like this. It's like, oh, there's just too much. So it helps me a little bit. And these are, oh, congratulations, Melissa, that you ordered the last set of ink cubes. I gotta tell you, it was a little tough for me. I bought them like piecemeal, one at a time, because let's face it, I can't commit to anything. And but I'm so glad that I do have them all. And thank you, Danielle. Thank you for being here. Kathy, thank you so much. This flower, and I just want to connect it to the one that I have that I did with the alcohol ink background. When you have it, so this is a little, it's got a lot of pattern paper here, so it's bringing us more texture. And when you do it like this, where you're blending each of the backgrounds, you can control what it is that you see and control the depth of the ink because we're using the ink blending. And so I just wanted to show you that. So there's just some differences between what it is that they look like. All right, so let's finish this off. So we have 2 more pieces. And the 2 pieces that we have are this one. And we also have this little guy over here. So he's going to be darker. So this one's darker and then this one is lighter according to our thing. And again, you can change it. You can do whatever you want. You want to keep it white. You can do whatever you want to do because it's your flower and it's what's in your head of what you think it should look like. And so we're going to start here, and it recommends, or it has on the layering guide, that it's orange and it's a little bit of the yellowy side. And I think I'm going to go with that. I was going to make it green, but I think the green's too weird. So I'm actually going to go with the orange. So I'm going to stay with Warm and Cozy. If I can figure out where I put them. There they are. So Warm and Cozy is such a nice set because you go from this really light sun-kissed to Fire Brick is very dark. And beautiful, gorgeous orange, but very dark orange. So let's take a look. Let me pull this out. And I'll show you, if we stay with the Autumn Blaze, what that's going to look like. And we may want to darken this up with that Fire Brick. And when I have a little tiny guy like this, I just grab my pokey tool. So I'm just going to whoosh him just a little bit. So that Fire Brick is really, really pretty orange. And I may not want to go. Sorry, that's the Autumn Blaze. I may not want to go Fire Brick. I'm just going to check it out. I'm going to go Fire Brick. I'm going for it, guys. You ready? Here we go. We're Fire Bricking it. All right, here we go. So I'm just going to do the top. I'm going to keep the bottom a little bit on the lighter side because I just want a little bit more variation on this. Oh, that Fire Brick is gorgeous. I know you can't see what I see, but man, it's nice. So now I have this kind of variation in there. So I'm going to take this guy. I'm just going to move him over to the side and just let him dry. He looks like a little flame. Looks like a little flame, doesn't it? Oh, so nice. And then this guy's left over, and he's going to be a little bit on the yellow side. So I'm actually going to grab Orange Cream, which is the second color in there. Yeah, thanks, Sarah. He's so cute. Love it. He looks like a little flame in there. Oh, Fire Brick. This is great. This is in the Warm and Cozy set. It's really nice. Beautiful color. I don't use it enough now that I think about it. All right, so I just took off as much ink as I could. Let me actually see. I bet you I can pull off. Nope, it's gone. All right, so I'm going to grab that Orange Cream, and I'm actually going to tap some of that off because I want it to be a little bit lighter, and then I'm going to go in with that. That's so pretty. All right, so now let's finish this up and adhere all of these together. So I'm going to get my inks out of the way. This is normally what happens to me is I try to use like everything that I have. All right, so here's our flower. I'm going to put this little guy on top of that bigger one. Add a little bit of ink there. And there he goes. Now, for these guys, again, they're tiny. I'm getting glue everywhere, so I'm just going to use my tweezers to just give them a sec to be together and adhere. And then I'm going to glue the back, and then I'll glue this on, and we'll see what it looks like all together. And then I'll get some leaves done. I'll show you the leaves. All right, there we go. All right, so that, in fact, I moved them and put them in the wrong spot. All right, here we go. Move them over. It's a nice thing about glue. Gives you a little bit of time, hopefully, to figure it out. There we go. All right, there's our spot. That's where we want him to be. He's going to nudge right up against that little comma thing. And there is our flower. So our flower is so pretty. Yes, and I have to thank you so much, Mary, for putting that in. I am a mini cube person, and I'm a mini cube person because of the price point of mini cubes is a lot lower, and also because of the space. I just don't have the space to store all of the other stuff, all of the pieces. So that's a really good question. Who asked that? Yeah, these are. Yes, and the layering guide is shrunk. If you want the whole size of it, see this flower? Sorry, I'm having a cat attacking me. If you see that flower on the bottom, this is 100% actual size. So if you're like, I don't know where this thing goes, you can use this front flower. It is actual size. And so I'm using the layering guide because I can see that and I see where it goes, but I will also use the big flower on the front. in order to kind of figure out, oh my gosh, here it is. You know, here's the little top of the leaf. Here's where this guy goes. All of the little pieces that we did, that's where they all end up. Okay. All right. So what's nice about these leaves is, believe it or not, it's only 3 dyes, but depending on how you layer them, you can get a bunch of different things. So instead of putting them out of white, I thought we'd actually move over and take a look at some cardstock and see how we can use cardstock to use cardstock with the Craft-A-Flowers. All right, so I wanted to show you that there's 3 parts. So we have the full leaf here, and I actually did die cut this out of white because I had enough space. And then there is one branch that's like a little bit thicker, and I did push that out of this cardstock. And then there's another branch that I could not fit on my 5.5 by 8.5 piece. And that is still in here. And that is my tiny branch, which is somewhere on my desk. It's in the void right now. I'll grab that out. But then you can take these and you can layer them in all different ways. Oh my gosh, Sarah, I tell you, it is totally a void on my desk. I have something that all of a sudden, as I'm working, it slips into the other location and then it's gone. And it is here. I will find it. And I just got to stand up and look at other locations. All right. So I'm going to kind of take a look at the gradient cardstock. And the ones that I pulled out today are the Green Meadows cardstock. And this is so nice because you get 3 different colors of the, oh, guess what I just found? What? Side note of the cardstock. You get 3 different colors here. And what we can do is we can actually manipulate these and we can add color in. We can add dye color in, you know, just by blending to get some different colors here. I also have the summer gradient, the summer afternoon cardstock set, and we can add these in with these other little details. And then one thing that I really like to do is I like to add in some glitter cardstock. Oh, your sleeve. Yes, Nancy. I know. Sleeve. I got to tell you, I have found these things in like the weirdest places. And stuff is on my desk and it's like, where did you go? All right, so I'm going to play around. Let me start here. I'm just going to grab the Green Meadows cardstock. And the way that they have this here is they have the darkest color on the bottom. And I want to show you, on my example, I did a lighter color on the bottom. And so either one I think looks pretty good. Oh, dots for eyes. Oh my gosh. You know, I give up sometimes and I literally I have to put them in with a pen. The dots for the eyes, wherever they are. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. Now these cards are great because they fit perfectly in your mini blossom. And so when you're doing die cutting, especially when I'm doing, you know, if I just need something really quick, I can grab these pieces of paper and grab these colors and I can just go ahead and I can just rock and roll with these. All right, so I'm just going to put this guy in, and this is the Hunter Green, and I'm going to go ahead and just slip this right through, and I'm just going to make my back leaf. All right, so there's my back leaf. One of them anyway. I'm going to make 2 and we'll play around with these, but I'll do the same base on both of them and show you guys what they look like for the other stuff. All right. And if you have any questions for me, let me know in the chat. I'd love to know what you think about Craft-A-Flowers in general. Are these usually like, oh, I think the supplies that you're like, oh, I really look forward to these? Or is this a supply that kind of intimidates you and you're like, it seems like there's a lot of pieces and I really don't know what to do with all these pieces? I'd love to know that. Sometimes it depends on the set. I think little pieces kind of get to me it's really about, just kind of being organized with how they go and how they work and making sure you have them right away with you. All right, so this is the second layer, and I'm just going to pull this out of this just green cardstock. All right. Yes, this one I have to say, I really like this as well. Let me take a look. I'm just going to take a look. I got some comments that I'm missing. Yes, this is Sarah. I agree that you don't have to. I know, Barb. Sorry. And Sarah, this machine, I don't buy. I know you guys think I buy it like, oh, you must have everything. I really don't. I don't own a lot. And although my husband would disagree with that, I really don't have a lot. And I really keep it to, what it is that I need, what can I use? And I have to say, I did splurge on the mini blossom because this I knew was something. I mean, I don't think I craft. I don't think I go a day without using it, to be honest. It's perfect for sentiments. It's perfect for everything. And then with these cardstocks, it's great because they just go right in it. So you don't even have to worry about it. All right, so this is all set. So I got 2 of those, and then I'm going to grab one out of this sweet leaf, and we're going to mess around with a little bit of those things up there. So let me grab this guy. All right, and then we're going to grab our inks. I'm going to grab, Mary, I think I'm going to grab the Green Meadows ink as well. I'm going to grab those inks, and we're going to play around what we can do with them a little bit. Now, one thing to say about the glitter cardstock, and I know all of us, I know glitter has, I have a love-hate relationship with glitter, as you all probably do too, where I love glitter. I love the effect of glitter. I love everything about it, but I hate it on my hands. It's just driving me up a wall. And it's just, oh, Connie, yes, I love them too. Darker and not so bright green of cardstock for use with leaves. Well, Nancy, we can change that. That's the awesome part about this. I'm going to show you that we can take this and modify it for what we want to do. All right, I'm going to go gold. We're going to go gold today. And I'm going to grab this. So these are the same, where they're the same size. They fit perfectly in the mini blossom. And as you can tell, I have used this for quite a few things. And I'm going to eke as much of this out as I possibly can. So you see, I'm just swirling this right in there, swirling this little guy. I'll show you as soon as I put in. I'm going to sneak that little die right on the side, and then I'm going to run him through. This stuff cuts so nice. Even in the mini blossom, I don't have a shim in here. I got nothing. It actually cuts. I do roll it one way because it's a little bit heavier, and then I'll roll it the other way because these are all 110 pound, where these are not. These are all 65 pounds. So I'm just going to roll it a couple of times. But the glitter on here, and I'll show you in a second, it doesn't come off on your hands, and it's really easy to die cut. All right, so that is almost done. Okay, put him away. And let me show you what I'm talking about. So there's our third part. And I'm just going to pull him out. So you can see how he comes right out. I'm not fighting with this. I'm not like trying to get, and I'm just going to show you guys. So clear hands. No glitter. Can you see that? Nothing. No glitter. So it stays on the paper. Love it. It's not on my desk. It's not on my shirt. It's not in my hair. It is exactly where I need it to be, which is in my project. And that's where I want it to go, is right there. All right. I'm going to grab the Green Meadows. If I can find, oh, here it is. All right. So I'm going to grab the Green Meadows die set, and I'm going to grab my green mini blending brush. Now, if I want something a little bit darker, if I want something a little bit lighter, I can take this. Like, this is just really super bright for me. Like, if we were to put this together, let's take a second. We'll adhere all of these together. And I were to put these together, this is kind of what I get here. putting these together, which is really pretty. It's really, really super nice. Is that? And what's nice to do as well is if I don't want this piece, there's my leaf. Or you know what? I don't want this piece. I'm going to put these together, and that's my leaf. And that looks really pretty too. And so you can have all of these choices for how you want these leaves to set up. So I'm going to take this, and I want this to be a little bit darker than what I had before. So I'm going to grab just a touch of the hunter green, and I'm not going to go all the way over this leaf because I don't need to. It's already green. I don't need to build up that color. All I want to do is I just want to add a little bit more color to it. And I can even grab the same color just to show you the difference. I'll grab that second leaf in just a second. I can actually grab gray. That would actually really be pretty nice. And I can just build up this layer of color. And I'm going to try not to go in the middle. I'm trying my best not to go in the middle with my little guy, just to show you. So let me put these two together now. So this is my one that I didn't ink up. And then that's the one that I did ink up. And so you can see that just by adding just a little bit of ink, I am changing how it looks. It's still the same. I didn't take a lot of time on it. It's really super fast because the color is already there because of the cardstock. Now, if I want to, now when I put this together, it just stands out. I think it stands out a little bit more. So let me show you what I'm talking about. And I don't know if my light's super great or not, but you can see how it's just a little bit, this is, to me, I like the contrast here where this looks like it's a little bit too much together, where it's kind of close in it. All right, so let's put these leaves together, and I got about 10 minutes, and I'm going to make a card with you guys on our Craft-A-Flower Magnolia. All right, so I'm going to put this together here. So let me get some glue on here. And I want to add on to this. Come on, buddy, you can do it. Is I want to add on the gold just so you can see it. And these are really super easy to line up because they literally just go right on top of each other. And I'm just going to put those together. And that's my leaf, right? So I can keep it there. I can add this little light guy onto it. Or what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the gold on. And I like to add just a little bit of sparkle and shine somewhere on my card, you know, because sparkle's fun. I like it. It's super fun to have on there. And then we will see how this all goes onto a card. All right, so this is my sparkle. And I'm just going to put this one leaf right on top of here. And it just has a little bit of something different. I like it. And that's all of our layers right on there, if I can get this guy to move. There we go. All right, and then my glue will dry clear, so I'm not worried about all those little glue spots. So that's my leaf. And then for this one, I'm actually just going to add this sprig on top of this. I'm not going to put the little middle section in. And I just want to put these in here. All right. Okay, and then here's my leaves. And I'm only going to do 2 leaves today. I kind of like how they have the magnolia with the 3 leaves. But in the interest of time, I'm just going to do 2 today. All right, so now what we're going to do, so those are our pieces. So let's take a second and kind of take a look at what we have. And I think the other question that I always kind of ask myself anyway is when you have this like really big floral element, how do you handle this with your card? Like that, you know, these things aren't getting swallowed up, or that your card's not getting swallowed up with this big floral element. All right, so give me a second just to kind of clean up my area and get these little pieces out of the way and into the void. All right, so those are our 3 pieces. Moving these over, and I'm just going to quickly pull my inks off of my desk. All right, how many of you guys have a huge desk, but you really only craft in a very, very small, like 4x6 section of it? All right, so here's our floral element, and I wanted to show you guys, I want to do a video about this later on, which is like where you put your flower kind of talks about, it emits a motion. So we could have it kind of flowing in this bottom corner, and then you have a whole bunch of white space, which looks absolutely beautiful. And or Avril, you can make 6x6 cards. That is true. And then, or we can have it kind of top down. We can have it smack dabby in the center. And each one of those does something a little bit different. And so for me, I kind of like things in the corner and that there's movement in my card. So I'm going to add this on, and then I can take these leaves. And in fact, I think I'm going to switch these leaves out. So I'm going to have this one go this way, and I want this one to go this way. And I'm doing them kind of in an L to give some weight to that flower. So it looks like it kind of belongs in that section. So that looks really nice. Now, oh, Liz, I got to tell you, the desk does disappear because of the vortex. Thank you, Melissa. The addition of the glitter, again, I could have put it on both, but I feel like sometimes it's too matchy-matchy. So I like my leaves to have a little bit of variation. And that's what I really like about this set, is that you can do your leaves in a whole bunch of different ways. And they kind of give you that option there. So I want something, like, I like it white, but it's just kind of missing something. And so that's where you can come in, and I'm going to grab a stencil, and I'm going to have you guys choose which stencil you want me to use. And I have a couple of different stencils here. And I'm sorry, Mary, I think I put all these on there. I have this feathery stencil, which would look really pretty. And I love the stencils because I don't have to stencil the whole background, but also with the stencil, what I can do is I can emboss with the stencil. So I do that sometimes. So I have this. I thought this would be a little bit more graphic, is to have that with the flower. So I got feathery stencil as an option. I got alphabet stencil as an option. I thought that'd be kind of cool because that would be kind of graphic. I have Feeling Dotty stencil, and I obviously have to clean my stencils, which I like too. That's a little bit on the graphic side. And then I have probably a traditionally one, which would be trellis. So let me know if you like feathery, alphabet, or trellis. What do you think? Would you guys like me to use? So feathery, alphabet, Feeling Dotty, or trellis. And I'm going to use that. I think I'm going to use that gray. I'm going to use this Morning Frost feathery. I know, I'm kind of thinking that too. All right. Thank you, Katrina. Thank you, Sue. Melissa, thank you. Feather. Yeah, it's really nice. Stencils. Oh, Liz, you got to love it. That trellis stencil, it's definitely a staple in there. All right. It looks like feathery wins. So let me pull these out. I was going to go for alphabet stencil too. All right, let me pull the feathery stencil. Now, what's nice about stencils is you don't have to use the whole stencil. You can use part of it. And I'm definitely part of like, oh my God, I need to do everything with it. But in this case, I have to kind of suppress that a little bit and say, you know what, it's okay. You're just going to do this one. Can you guys see that there's like one big feather here? It's like right here. I'm just going to kind of focus in on that one feather. So let me get some tape down. Oh, there we go. So I got some tape. And I'm just going to put this down, adhere this down as much as I can. And I'm going to go really light with my stencil, with my small ink blending brush. And I just want to make sure that I don't have any funky colors on it before I go down. That happens to me a lot. I end up putting funky colors on. All right, I'm going to start with the Morning Frost, and I'm going to change. If I need to change color, I can. This happens to me a lot, where I start with one color that I know is light, and then I can always build up to more colors. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to put this down. And the Morning Frost is really light, but I love the gray, and it's almost like a greenish gray. And I know I have a little bit of green on my blending tool anyway, left over from when I did it with the Hunter green, although I wiped the majority of it off. So I'm just going up. I'm just going to do a section of this, and I'm just keeping this down as best I can. I'm going a really light hand too, because this stencil is a little, it is feathery, legit. feathery stencil. All right, let me just put this down. And all I'm trying to do is just get a little bit of interest in the background. Let me check it, see how it looks. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So you can see how the morning frost, now you have to realize that I had that tinted with a little bit of green in there, but it really gives this cool look. Yeah, see, I'm with you. I think is there a trick to cleaning stencils? I'm a soap and water person. I kind of think that soap is the way to go. So I'll take my stencils over to the sink and I will just give them a little bath. And that's what I do with my stencils. And the inks and the pastes, the inks will come off with the dye because it's what, with the soap and water, that will take really most of the inks off. If you have a pigment-based ink, you could use a little bit of alcohol and that will take that off. But with the dye-based ink, the water and soap will totally be fine with that. And then I will give them a bath after a little while. All right, so now we're going to put our card together. So you can see that it's just, because it's that feathery stencil and I did it up in that top corner, you kind of have this flow where everything is moving in this direction. And I wanted to add a little small sentiment on here. And I grabbed, and I'm so excited that they came out with these, but I grabbed the Sentiment Strips 3. I haven't used this yet. So I think I'm going to pull off of this. I always kind of look for like size more than anything. And I would put a sentiment here, like down at the bottom. And I want something small because this flower is just really, really big. And you know what I really like is, oh, there's always thinking of you. That's really nice. I saw another one. Sparkle on, darling. That one's cute. And on your wedding day, sending a happy hello. I'm going to do always thinking of you. The world needs your light. Oh, these are really nice. When it rains, look for rainbows. You were made to shine. Be fearless. When it's dark, look for stars. Just talked about that. All right, so I'm going to cut this out. Oh, this is a little bit long for me. I'm going to choose something that's a little bit shorter. Hey, girl. That's a good one, too. Happy birthday, sparkle on. Cue the confetti. Confetti. All right, you fill my heart. That's what we're going with. I want something small. I want to put it right here. And I'm just, what I normally would do is I'd do a black piece of cardstock and do some white embossing powder. And I think that that would look really, really sharp there. But I just don't have, that. So I think what I'm going to do instead is I think I'm going to stamp it directly onto my card base. So now I need a block. All right, so let me just take a second to line this up and get this right. And I think my block might be too small, but it was the first one I grabbed. So I'm just using my grid here just to make sure that it's straight. And then I can use the lines on my block to just tap that on in. And then I know I'm relatively straight. And then I'm going to grab some obsidian ink because this is exceptionally crisp. And I'm just going to put this down. Now, I tend to move things and I tend to jolt. So I will actually take some tape and I will tape this card down just so I know it's not going to move and it's in the spot I want it to. And I haven't put my flowers down yet because I wanted to double check where I want it to go. So there we go. You fill my heart. 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is perfect right on there. And then I will get these down. So let me just grab a little bit of glue. And I will get these two down. All right, I'm just going to add a little bit here. All right, and we will put them together. All right, so I'm going to start with my flower. And I'm not tapping it down yet because I still want to work on placement. And I'm just going to put this guy right there. Oops. Maybe like that. There we go. Push him down just a little bit. And then I'm going to stick this guy right up at the top. Okay, there we go. All right, and there's our card. So I hope that you guys enjoyed taking a look. Oh, thanks, Vicky. And my cat likes it too. That's amazing. So I hope you guys liked taking a look at this at the Craft-A-Flower Magnolia. This is really a pretty one. It's a nice big one. It doesn't have too many big pieces. And I know we used a lot of the colors here, but you can imagine this in orange, in pink. You know, even if you did like a tonal, like green on green on green would be pretty. And then just a little bit of feathery stencil, I think would work. You could also use a white on white on white. I wanted to show you in my example. I made a so the background I did, I actually used some limestone ink and I just dragged the ink pads on here and I made a gatefold card. And what's nice about this is I don't have a sentiment or anything, and that is made from a die cut. So that's the mandala die cut in the back. But it's just a nice setup to show off this flower because this flower can be so bright and colorful. So those are our two cards for that one. So thank you guys so much. And thank you to Mary, who is behind the badge. And Melissa, I love gatefold cards too, because they're just really fun. They're a little bit different. Thanks, Sarah. But thank you guys so much for being here. I'm going to go ahead and come on up. And thank you so much. I really enjoyed being here with you today. I encourage you to take a moment and grab a card and send it out to somebody because that's really what it is that we love to do, is to send cards. So thanks, Liz. Thank you guys so much. I hope that you enjoyed that, and I hope that you have an absolutely wonderful and crafty day. So thank you so much.